The Triumph Rocket 3's gigantic 2.5-liter engine might be the bit that grabs all the attention, but it's the night and day overhaul of the rest of this monstrous cruiser motorbike that really impresses. Suspension. Steering and stopping are all worlds ahead of the previous Rocket 3, and as a result it now feels like a laughably large but comprehensively capable motorcycle, rather than a cartoon cruiser caricature. First impressions might be dominated by the Rocket's vast proportions and the curiosity factor of cramming a motor larger than a typical family car between two wheels, but after a day spent studying the quality details, experiencing the meticulously managed power and appreciating the enormous improvements in refinement, you walk away feeling thoroughly impressed. The new 2020 Rocket 3 is exciting, eye-catching, attention-grabbing and pulse-raising, yet avoids straying into feeling frivolous, ridiculous or pointless. Forget the previous Triumph Rocket II's cumbersome bulk, heavy-handed handling, basic running gear and Romanesque name badge. The new Rocket 3's chassis is totally different. A cast aluminium spine frame replaces the old twin steel tubes, helping contribute to an incredible 40 kilograms saving over the previous bike, while steering geometry is sharper and the wheelbase is shorter. As a result, the Rocket now has a proper appetite for corners the old bike couldn't dream of. Turn-in is easy. Holding a line mid-corner needs little inside bar pressure, and flick-flacking from full lean left to right is absurdly accurate for a bike with a fueled weight north of 320 kilograms. Suspension is by Showa with 47mm adjustable upside-down forks up front, and an adjustable monoshock monitoring the shaft drive. No electronic adjustment though, the clickers are all manual. The front's set pretty firm, meaning you can haul hard on the flagship Brembo-style front brakes to generate huge stopping force without the bike trying to tie itself in knots. Ride quality is generally good, though the short travel shock has to work hard and can feel bouncy. Drive hard and you can clearly feel the rear end of the bike jack up though, a result of the torque reaction from the shaft drive being unchecked by any kind of parallelogram setup. One look at Triumph's Rocket 3R and you'd imagine it handles with all the deft agility of a Mississippi paddle steamer. But ride the 2,458cc beast and you'll be amazed at how easily it turns, given its mammoth mass and stretched-out stance. In part that's thanks to a couple of clever steering geometry tricks employed by Triumph's chassis engineers. But to fully understand what they've done, we need to remind ourselves what rake and trail are. Rake is the angle the bike's steering stem sits from vertical. It's not, as pub experts may tell you, the angle of the forks. Most bikes' rake sits between 23 degrees and 30 degrees, while Buell's Firebolt had a steep 21 degrees rake, while Harley's FXDR enjoys a lazy 34 degrees. Trail is trickier to get your head round. Imagine shining a laser pen down the steering stem, a fancy laser that can pass through wheels and mudguards. Trail is the straight line distance from where that red dot hits the road back to the center of the front tire's contact patch. Typically trail is around 100 mm. Triumph's 2004 Daytona 955i had a super short 78.7 mm, while Harley Tourers use 170 mm. Trail generates self-centering forces in a wheel, creating stability. If your front wheel kicks to one side, trail helps bring it straight again. However, for a fixed amount of trail, the strength of this self-centering force is weakened as rake angle increases. Higher rake and trail values also require more steering effort to turn in, hold a line and pick a bike up straight again. Into the bin goes the Rocket 3 2294cc triple, replaced by this all-new, gruntier, smoother, cleaner, stronger and smaller 2458cc engine. Huge 110.2mm pistons eclipse the old 101.6mm items, while stroke is significantly reduced, allowing Triumph to make a shorter motor. Peak torque is identical to the previous Rocket 3 Roadster, at 163 pound-feet, but the new motor holds onto that grunt for longer as revs climb. Where the previous rocket's torque curve fell away sharply above 2,500 revolutions per minute, the new motor has a much fatter, flatter delivery. As a result, headline power is up to 165 bhp. But as ludicrous as that might sound, the reality is that it's immensely easy to use. All that prodigious power is carefully controlled by the ride-by-wire throttle and predictive, lean-sensitive traction control, while output is restricted in lower gears and top speed is electronically limited to 138 miles per hour. It's a beast, but one of those big, fluffy, gentle, cuddly chaps from a Disney film. The colossal torque spread means you can ride it however you like, plonk it in one gear and dip into the immense grunt from 2,500 to 5,500 revolutions per minute if you're feeling lazy, or chase the 7,000 revolutions per minute redline and work the new sweet shifting 6-speed gearbox for maximum thrills. There's even an optional 2-way quickshifter in Triumph's accessory catalog, if you like changing clutchlessly. It's a completely new machine from nose to tail, so only time and miles will deliver a verdict on reliability. Service intervals are set at a car like 10,000 miles, suggesting the motor is in a fairly mild state of tune and Triumph have confidence in it. Looking over the bike in the metal, everything appears high quality. The exhaust headers are a particular highlight. The welds look neat while the hydroformed curves are apparently a huge pain to produce. Everything seems tucked away neatly. There are no vulgar cables or hoses dangling about anywhere, and wiring runs inside the handlebars. Details like the Monza-style petrol, coolant and oil filler caps are pleasing, while the clever flip-out pillion pegs are a neat design. Our Triumph Rocket 3 owner's reviews show there have been some issues for some buyers, in particular corrosion, electrical and mechanical problems. Seemingly the rear brake can often stop working, for example, and needs attention from a dealer. Have a good read-through before going for a test ride.